Welcome to Classics with Bez. I'm Bez, and today we're taking a look at WWF No Mercy for the Nintendo 64 by THQ and Jakks Pacific. Now, I apologize ahead of time for the quality of this video. It's not really up to par with my SNES and NES reviews, only because running the software needed to record the N64 eats up a lot of RAM, and my laptop, sadly, isn't as great as it could be. So first thing you're going to notice here when we get into the game is how immaculate the menus are. They're really beautiful for an N64 game. They're all pre-rendered and not as robust as they are now, but for the N64 they are great. Now, we're going to go here to the SmackDown Mall, which is basically where you do your create a character, the shop, which has all kinds of cool unlockables in it. We're going to start off in the shop, and we're going to show you some of the create a superstar items you can unlock. Lots of classic wrestler attires, lots of martial arts stuff. There's 3-4 gis in here, plus some martial arts pants and a few other things that are karate or kung fu related. There's also a ton of other finishing maneuvers for you to unlock. There's superstars like Shawn Michaels, Cactus Jack, Ken Shamrock, Earl Hebner the referee, and actually the Godfather's Ho, who used to follow him to the ring back in the 90s, which I thought was pretty funny. There's also items you can unlock, like the head, the sledgehammer, items that are weapons that can also be carried into the ring during your character's entrance scene. My favorite is actually the bazooka, because he actually shoots it off when he comes into the ring. I was having a hard time finding the button to exit this menu. And there we go. Now we're going to go to Superstar Options. This game offers something that no other system really offers, which is the ability to edit the models of all the wrestlers that are already in the game. I went in beforehand and edited Kane. Kane during the 90s always wore his mask, but you have the ability to edit him to take off his mask, which is something really popular in the N64 days, especially people who were still playing this game when Kane took off his mask in actual wrestling. There you can see him without his shirt, without his mask on, and the closest thing to the attire that he wears today. You can also edit his moves, his fighting style, the parameters, which are basically his strengths and weaknesses, and his allies, like who he would be in a stable with, who would run into the ring if he needed assistance. Next, we're going to go ahead and check out the Create a Superstar mode, where you can basically create your own wrestler. Before that, I'm going to cycle through this so you can see a couple of the other Kanes, seen with his mask on, the way he was in the game before I edited it. I'm going to go create a superstar. You can also clone a superstar, which basically copies him from one spot to another. I'm going to go here. But I'm not going to bother to fill in any of these spots, as we're just going to go and show you how the appearances work. I'm going to make my guy nice and ugly and fat. Not really going to do anything with him, just want you to see how the editing tool works. There's quite a few body types in this game. About 80 faces, I think, that you can choose from for your created superstars. Now you can also edit the moves, the fighting styles, parameters, like I said. You can set allies and enemies. And that's pretty much the whole designer. You can see the AKI man, who's actually a playable character in this game, in the corner, who shows you the moves that you're doing, what they look like on your character, which is something that's really lacking in the new wrestling games. They don't give you the ability to see your actual character doing the moves before you apply them to him. It just shows a red or green dummy. Something I really like about this game is the ability to edit the in-game characters. They still don't have that in the modern day SmackDown vs. Raw games or the other games for PS1 that were released at the same time as this. We're going to go here into exhibition mode so you can get a little bit of the gameplay to see what it's like. Again, I apologize. It's not the best video quality. It looks really slow. And the gameplay of this game is slow, but it's not nearly as slow as it's going to look. I'm going to pick the Kane character that I altered, as well as the created superstar I just made, so you can see what they look like in the in-game models. I'm going to show you Kane's entrance. It's not very long. It doesn't show him actually enter the ring, just come out onto the stage, and I'll show a little bit of his entrance video play, which is pretty much an animated GIF with 3 or 4 screens. The music in this game isn't very good. I don't like it. I find it sounds really choppy compared to some of the other N64 titles. In the other games that are released at the same time as this for PlayStation 1, the gameplay is a lot faster, and I find the graphics are smoother and prettier than this, but for some reason I really enjoy this game. Even more so than the SmackDown game that was released at the same time. Now we're entering the match here. You have a stamina meter in both corners relative to which superstar you are. When it gets to red, you can flick the up analog stick to do a taunt, and you will enter finisher mode, where you can do your finishing maneuver once you do a strong grapple, which you do by holding the grapple button. I don't actually work up a finisher in this video, but it's really nothing immaculate. He just does a funny taunt and then pulls out a tombstone pile driver. Now moving around the ring here, and like I said, the video looks pretty choppy, and I apologize for that. And I'm going to do a couple grapple moves and a few punches and kicks. Now, one thing that's interesting about this game is really the gameplay mechanics were very good. It has a taunt, or not a taunt, but rather 2 different ways to block. You can do reversing grapples or reversing strikes, which I found rather interesting. When you reverse a strike, he just puffs out his chest. It's kind of funny. Now I'm climbing the top rope here so you can see what the top rope maneuvers look like. I actually missed it, but he was way too far away for me to have ever hit him. I just wanted you to see what the top rope animations look like. As far as wrestling games go, this is probably one of the best. I'm Bez, this has been Classic with Bez. Have a nice day.